Hello and welcome back to The Broken Doll. Tonight I come to you again with this little EffanBee Baby, and I want to talk about the blushing on this doll. Now, I blushed him a little bit yesterday, and you can see that it's there. It looks very nice, but it needs to be a little bit deeper. And I pulled out his arms and one leg. The other leg needs to be repainted, one more coat of paint on it. And it's looking really good. So what I want to do is just put a little, this is oil paint, okay? This is my artist oil paint right here. It's crimson red. If you use acrylic on top of your oil paint, which you can, you're going to have to seal it, because anything moisture in the air will probably ruin that and might fall off. Okay, so anyways, I have my sponge here. Actually, I'm going to probably need a couple sponges. Okay, usually I use about 2 or 3 of them. So what I'm going to do is take it and go like this. I like just to get it on a little bit on the dry side. And now, somebody said that they have a dimples or a bubbles with really red cheeks. Also remember one thing, I have dolls like that too, with like I have about 3 or 4 dimples, baby dimples by the Horseman Company. And one of the things with baby dimples is that they have really red cheeks right now. And the reason is because it's not because they have rosy cheeks or they made them really red. It's because the oil paint has oxidized. And when that happens, the paint becomes really red. And they probably weren't that red in the beginning. It probably was a really nice soft red, but that's what happens when oil paint gets old. It oxidizes, it dries, and the red color just becomes inflamed on top of the doll. And that's very typical for old oil paint to do that. But anyways, we're going to redden this a little bit more, get it just a little bit deeper than what it is right now. Because when oil paint dries, it becomes lighter. So we want to get where this is a little bit deeper so we can see, like you can see the red on the cheek, but it's just faded a bit. That's because the paint has dried. I might do this 2 or 3 times before I'm done here. So we're going to take on this side of the cheek now. We're going to put a little bit of red on this side, and we're going to just take it and hang on a second. There we go. Looking a little bit nicer now. Now, it might need one more coat yet. We'll see what tomorrow looks like. And nothing wrong with just putting just a little bit more on another like shade on. It's a building. You're building it up slowly, and nothing wrong with that at all. And there we go. So we just keep there. So you can see that it's a little bit darker than it was even yesterday. And that's what you want to do. You just want to keep building this up. Okay, just keep building up the red on one layer, another layer, until you get what you achieve what you want. And that looks pretty good. I'm liking that. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take the arm, and we can take these strings off of here now. Let's see if I can get this one off. There we go. Don't need the string anymore. And we're going to do the same here. We're going to take some paint, and we're just going to make sure the plate takes the beating. So we're going to put some on the elbow. And just like we did yesterday, we might find that as the paint dries, it will fade a little bit, which is fine. What we'll do is we'll just put another coat on. Okay, not a problem. We're going to put some across the hand. Right across the top of the hand. And we'll do it a little bit more, a little deeper. And you might find that's enough. There, that looks really nice. We'll just let that dry. We'll do this one here. That is his arm, isn't it? I think so. When I compared, it doesn't matter. If I'm doing the wrong arm, I'm going to look before I attach this, of course, back onto his body again. So I just hit the plate with it here. So you want to get it on his elbow. His arms are a little shorter than the other doll because he's a smaller version of them. I didn't notice it right away until I took his head off that he was just a little bit tinier of a doll. So, okay. Just trying to keep it. You want to make it as natural as possible on him. There we go. There we go. That looks nice. So we're just going to let those dry. Now we're going to take his leg, take the string off as well. There we go. And we go back at this here, and we're going to put it right on his knee. This is really nice for a lot of people who are in beginners of, or I'm going to put it this way, beginners or just more comfortable at blushing this way for your restoration project that you're working on. It works out. If you're not comfortable with an airbrush, I understand, because I'm not really comfortable with it either. I do use one for the hair, and that's about all I really want to use one for. That's all I'm comfortable with. Now, I've seen people use it to spray on the flesh tone. I'm not that comfortable with it, and it's just something I don't do. So, but the next person might say, oh, I have no problem with it. And I get it. I'm like, yay, good. You know. Now I'm going to put some also right across the top of the foot. You got to do what you're comfortable with, and I like this method. It works out nice, and you can go back and put on as many layers as you want. This will fade. Remember, it will get lighter, and then we'll go back and put another coat on. And every night, that's what I do. I just put another coat on. So there you go. I think that turned out really quite nice. That's nice. A nice beginning for the leg. I got to paint the other leg up. That's what I got to do next. So, but this turned out really nice. And this might be as far as I want to go with the cheeks and everything. If I get the level of red that I'm looking for by tomorrow, I might just leave that. I just don't want it to fade so much that all I see is the flesh tone. I want to see those nice rosy cheeks. Just some nice rosy happy cheeks there. And it's starting to look a little bit nicer. Like I said, it's a building of your paint on top. And like I say, even the arms and legs might need another one yet. Let it dry, and then come back tomorrow and see where you're at again. I let 24 hours go by and do it again. Another 24 hours, do it again. And you'll know what you like. You know, how much paint you like. You got to decide that yourself. So anyways, before I go, I'm just going to set this back here just for a second. And maybe I can put it, where did I put it? Okay, I'll set it right there like that. I went to my thrift store today. And when I was at my thrift store, I found this. It's a little, I think it's homemade. Let me see if you're seeing this in there. Yeah, you are. I think it's handmade by maybe, you know, a dad or grandpa made it. I'm not sure who, but anyways, it's a little rocker for a doll to sit in. So I'll have to find a doll for this. But yeah, what I like to do is, this is rusted, the little bead holder here. I like to get some brighter beads to put on here. I think I've got some here that were, I got stashed away. And like to just take this, and it's already out of the hole here. So what I'd like to do is just take a steel wool across that, and then paint it black, and then put some nice colorful beads. These beads are looking kind of atrocious. They're done. Let's just put it that way. They're dirty, you know. So I like to get some little beads to hang on there. And yeah, it's quite the little thing, little ducks. I think they're mallard ducks or something. So anyways, yeah, quite nice. So I found that today. I paid $3 for it. Actually, no, I didn't. It must have been half off, because everything came to $2.79 or $3.79, because I got some other things in here as well. Let me show you. I didn't get much more than this, but I got this book, Tim and His Train. I got a brother named Tim. I don't know, it just reminded me of him, my younger brother. The one I tried to save is Poppy. But anyways, it is 1959. Using my Roman numerals in my head. So anyways, yeah. So anyways, I got that one. 1959, Tim and His Train. And then this one here, The Gingerbread Man. I remember this one. This one here is 1953. I remember having my nap time and taking this book with me and looking at the pictures and telling myself, I couldn't read at the time, but I was telling myself the story about the gingerbread man. And these are the pictures. These are the exact pictures I was looking at of the gingerbread man, this exact book. And then I would look at the back and I would talk about all the animals, and then I would finally pass out and go to sleep, have my afternoon nap. And I remember looking at all the animals going around, and I don't know, just a memory that hit me. But anyway, oh, and I got this one, the Three Billy Goat Gruff. Three Billy Goats Gruff. But anyways, yeah, there we go. And that is 1956. There we go. And yeah, another nice old book here. You know, I remember that story, the Three Billy Goat Gruffs. Yeah, Three Billy Goats Gruff. So the Start Right Elf book is educational sound. But anyways, that's what I got. Maybe I did pay $3 and all this came to whatever here, you know. But anyways, yeah, quite nice. Oh, I did pick up one other thing here too. I got this book as well, Sewing for Girls, and it's a singer's sewing library book, and it tells you some little tidbits about when you're sewing. I'm not looking at it so much for sewing for a little girl or anything, but when I'm sewing for dolls, maybe it can give me some tidbits along the way, some help that I'm needing, you know. So interested in just, you know, taking a look at that and reading some of that. I see how I can apply that in my life. Another thing is, when I was a little girl, my grandmother, who lived up north, she would we would go up to see her or whatever, and she would buy us all a gift for Christmas time. And one of the things I got from her was Viewmaster reels. And the one I got from her that I remember, and I just loved it, was Snow White. And Snow White is my princess. And this is the one that I grew up with, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. And it's an actual Viewmaster product, you know, and these are all clay figures and everything. And I would sit and just look at my Viewmaster at all the reels that this came with. This is the exact one. I ruined mine. I took all the little pictures out of it when I was a kid, and don't know why I did that. But anyways, I saw it on eBay, really cheap, and I just went, I got to get it back in my life, because this is the one that I owned, and I wanted it back in my life again with all my Snow White stuff that I have. Though it's not the Disney one, it is the one that I grew up with. It's my childhood memory. And this is from 1955, this one is. And 1955 right there, right at the bottom. And the thing is, when I got this would be probably about 10, 12 years later. I was born in 61, so, which is the year of this sewing book. By the time I got this, I was probably about 6, 7 years old, in the late 60s. The thing is, in Canada here, this might have been older for the States, but for products in Canada here, this was probably old stock. And but where my grandmother was at, she could buy all the old stock and everything. But for us, it was brand new stuff for us. And you know, it just was the time and how things were. And so I grew up on a lot of stuff from the 50s. I remember a lot of stuff coming out of the early 50s, mid 50s, late 50s. All the type of stuff she would buy us came from that time period. So wherever she was and she was buying stuff was actually, by the time I came around and I was a kid receiving this stuff, it was like 10, this stuff would be 10, 12, 13 years later, but I'd be only about 5 or 6 years old, 7 years old at the time. So for me, it was brand new, but it was long gone and moved. Probably Viewmaster moved on with other things by that point. But for us, it was brand new. And so anyways, we loved it as kids anyways, you know. It's something how things were, you know. And that's why when we go to the States, we see things, we're like, wow, we're so far behind, because we didn't even know half that stuff existed, because we just didn't know, you know. We had products that were 10 years older from where we were living at the time, but it never bothered us. We just never knew. So you just go with what was given to you. So I would be talking to Dodie's dolls, and she was trying to tell me a memory. But the thing is, I remembered it too because she was born in the 50s. She was 10 years older than me. So she start talking. I go, oh yeah, I know about that. And she'd be like, you can't. You know, you were born 10 years later. No, I received stuff that was 10 years from, like, probably when she was growing up. I was playing with that stuff. And I mean, we got some newer things. Don't get me wrong. We had some newer things that were coming out that were being seen on TV and whatnot in the early 70s, late 60s, early 70s. Things were starting to come, and we were getting newer things and everything. Products were picking up. But in my grandmother's world, this is stuff that we received. And I would know this stuff because I had aunts that were born in the late 40s. So by the time I got stuff, they would give me stuff, some of their things, their hand-me-downs, or their dolls and whatnot. They were all from the 50s. So I knew a lot of that stuff because that's what I got, you know. So I could almost talk to somebody who was being a kid in the 50s because I knew a lot of that stuff because I was given it and had relatives, aunts and uncles that were around my age. My mom and my grandmother were having babies together. So that's why, you know, and I just knew a lot of, it was just part of my childhood. So anyways, I thought I'd share this with you, and maybe some of you can relate to the same thing in some ways, you know, and, you know, a lot of stuff, like I said, my grandmother was further up north, and this is what she would buy us, and we loved it, though. We never squabbled. One of the things that she would get us to was a great big coloring book, and it was a year-round coloring book. You did a page a day. And it was a great big thing. And my brother and I would sit there and just color our page every day. And you had something that would go right from Christmas, right through Easter, like Valentine's Day, Easter, all the major holidays. And it was wonderful. We loved it as kids, you know. It was a page a day. Get your coloring book up. We have to color our page for today, you know. But, yeah, can't find that stuff. I don't know, maybe you can, but wherever she found that stuff, she found it, you know. But, yeah, anyways, this is Snow White. And it comes with a little booklet inside right here. And what you can do is take put the reel in, and you can read what that reel was supposed to be about. Like, you can start with reel number 1, and you can read the story and look at the picture, and then read number 2, and then number 3, and on you went. You read the whole book, and so encourage reading as well. So very nice. So glad I got it back in my life again, and being part of my childhood. I just love it. And so anyways, thanks for joining me. Any other little tidbits that I find along the way of my childhood, I'll show them to you. But, yep, this is one right here. So anyways, we're going to come back on these quads. We're coming back to do more on them. I'm going to paint the leg. I was just looking at the leg. It needs one more coat of paint. It looks wonderful. And so anyways, I'm going to give its last coat of paint, and that should be it. And tomorrow it should be able to get blush just like this one here. So get it caught up with its counterparts here. So anyways, have a great night, everybody. We'll be talking to you again soon. Bye-bye.